Dark tree trunks, shadows, overhanging limbs across the path, seen at the last second. Wind slipping through the leaves, cracking undergrowth with each step. The narrow strip of naked earth among the giant of root and leaf.
The blackness nurtures a sense of claustrophobia, even though the woodland stretches unbroken for miles. How can something so dismal, distant, dense, and decaying lure and entice the pure and the innocent?
If you listen closely, you can hear the whispers from the wind telling us the tale of the Halloween Itch.
Even pre-COVID, nobody trick-or-treated at my house. It's way out in the boonies, a little 50s cape tucked into the woods on the edge of Norwich Lake. The few neighbors I have, they're all summer places. Come Labor Day, they all stow away the wakeboards, deflate the stupid giant rafts, stuff the kids in the SUVs. And then I finally get some damn peace and quiet. I was enjoying said quiet one fall night, sitting out back watching the clouds. It was windy and the chalk was knocking the dinghy against the pier of the river, crying. I was beat from a long day of physical labor, knocking projects off the to-do list like hands in a carnival game. I was lost in thought and feeling pretty chill, that is, until out of nowhere some dog started barking like crazy. Whose dog? It sounded like it was coming from the O'Donnell place, but what the hell? It's all boarded up. In 20 years, they've never once come back off season. They've got an agency to clean up after snowstorms and check on things now and then, but always in the morning. A walker, maybe. Though we almost never get walkers around here. Too far off the main road, and the no trespassing signs generally scare them away. The dog yelps. I listen intently. Nothing but the wind and the trees. I remember that there's rain in the forecast. Better make sure the windows are closed in the workshop. Did I even put away the chainsaw after Millie Flanagan came by with that petition about the old state hospital up on the hill? She talked my ear off. That woman is a pain in the ass, but you gotta give her credit. She has strong opinions and she's not afraid to make some noise. Makes herself some enemies, I bet, but she doesn't give a shit. I told her, I really don't care what they do with that old loony bin. Didn't bother to mention, but my great uncle was locked up there. And from stories Pop used to tell, it's not like there are many happy memories there that need preserving. Anyway, I finally had enough of her badgering and made some excuse to disappear inside. It's getting late. I finish my beer, chuck the can in the bin, and make my way down the worn dirt path to the shop, which I built a couple of years ago, mostly from lumber that Bob Miller tossed in a dumpster when he renovated. Waste not, want not. And I needed more space to work. The garage is too full of parts and crap. As I approach, I see that sure enough the lights are on and the windows open. Good thing I checked. I poke around near the stump looking for the chainsaw, but it seems I did put it away after all. It's starting to spit now, so I shut the window, lock things up, and head to the house. I'm halfway there when I hear it. Too heavy for a skunk or a possum. What is it? I stop short and whip around. Stillness. Like when my brother and me used to play hide and seek. It's the extra stillness that gives it away. Or am I getting soft? Should have gotten another dog. I could cry when I think of Missy, but that would be pointless. Has it really been 2 years? Still makes me shudder when I think of it. I take a couple of tenuous steps. Nothing. My imagination, I guess. Shaking off the spooks, I make a beeline for the house. I kick off my muddy shoes at the door, grab a day-old half-sub from the fridge, and settle down in the recliner to zone out to some American pickers.
Telling the history of America.
The cool breeze feels real good. Danielle is flirting with Mike, who is oblivious and is sifting through a box of junk that may hold treasures. Car parts, some more mementos, rusty old coins. I wake to a downpour. Moon's getting in. Getting up to close the window, a bright light in the woods catches my eye. The light in the shop. God damn it. I was sure I turned it off. I could leave it, but the generator was wearing down. Sighing, I pull on my galoshes, grab a flashlight, and dash through the woods, shielding my eyes from the rain. As I near the shop, I look up and stop dead in my tracks. The sound I had assumed was the dinghy again wasn't. The shop door is swinging wildly and banging against his frame, the padlock lying in a puddle. I cautiously draw closer, but freeze again when I hear something inside. I can't make it out. It sounds like a dog, softly whining. Standing there, soaked and petrified, I shine the light through the screen. From behind me, a soft voice whispers, "Trick or treat."
The call came in about an hour ago. Code 7. Homicide. I headed out with a couple officers to the cabins on the lake. The body was in an outbuilding on the property. The man was wearing a pair of galoshes. The floor was still wet underneath his feet. My eyes scanned up slowly, looking for anything that might help us with the investigation. Dungarees, soiled, and spots of what looked like oil or grease. Tear on the left knee, not for fashion. His flannel was pulled open, exposing a full beer gut and a t-shirt that had seen better days. The t-shirt was lifted up high on his chest, expertly carved into his skin with the words, "Trick or treat." His eyes stared blankly up towards the ceiling, face frozen in a look of horror. If it wasn't for the words etched into his skin, I think it was a heart attack or an overdose. We've had plenty of those over the years here on Norwich Lake, especially post-tourist season when all that's left are the locals. Don't get me wrong, we have enough nutbags around here, especially since the state hospital closed. They didn't do nothing for those folks, just turned them loose around town. Those that didn't have family in the area, they had to go sleep at the church. But they're pretty harmless, really. Well, mostly. I must be his brother. You know, this never gets easier. You can't get used to hearing that kind of pain. It's like your own heart cries out with them. Brother showed up after we got here. Somebody must have tipped him off. Everybody knows everybody here. I've got 2 officers holding him back right now. Obviously, he's a suspect, but he's probably not that good of an actor. And the girlfriend? She was pretty zonked out when they arrived. Oxy. Hills are big out here in the woods. They were both a mess. I can't say that I blame them. Can somebody shut that dog up? Jesus, I'm trying to concentrate. No other obvious wounds on the guy. And what's more? No blood. Cuts like that, there should be blood everywhere. Unless the guy was mutilated after he died. That's pretty effed up. Where the hell are the scene techs? They better not be at the bar. Chris McNichol showed up drunk on scene once. He knows that he's like this close to being fired. I look around the room. Nothing out of the ordinary. The guy had a pretty impressive license plate collection. Hawaii? I didn't know it had a rainbow on it. You'd think it would be a pineapple. Snowblower? Shovels? Tools? A few cardboard boxes? Looks like some cob pots. Well, we could say goodbye to any evidence outside. This has been the rainiest October. Too bad for all the kids trying to trick-or-treat in town tonight, huh? You don't even want to wear a coat like carrying an umbrella. This is all I need. In the dark, with a dead cow. Hello? Hello? Chris? Chris? About time you got here. Yeah, okay, I got it. Hilarious. Scared to go cop. Woo! Come on. We got work to do. Are you drunk? Chris? I turned and shined my flashlight to the left. And there's an effing kid. Hair in the face. Cheap homemade costume like some kind of Raggedy Ann doll covered in blood. She shouldn't be here. Hey! Hey kid! Kid, you can't be in here! Where are the guys? Trick or treat, she says. And she looks up. Impressive makeup job. How did she do that? She looks like she doesn't have any eyes.
I love walking in the woods, but this year my allergies are really acting up. Earlier it was just an annoying itch, but now... You know how it feels like your bones are itchy? It's bad. Anyway, I know it's unusual actually. I've heard it's pretty weird, but whatever. I like to go trick-or-treating way out here. They never expect me, but no one wants to disappoint a kid on foot, and I really like the walking. I'm not really allowed to leave the home. Last year I got in trouble before I even got to 4 houses. I didn't like that. But this year I haven't seen anyone for ages, and their voices can't stop me. Sometimes, and this is the best part, sometimes when I get to the front door, they don't have any candy to give. Then I get to go inside and watch them hurry and scramble, especially if I never sit down. That's the best. One time, a little old lady, Mildred, I think she said, she talked a whole lot. She didn't have any sweets, so I just waited. She started to make me cookies from scratch. She almost looked scared. They were really good. She put them in my basket from the oven so fast they melted some of the baker's chocolate I got from one of the empty houses on the lake. Oh well, that stuff was gross anyway. Ah! They itch so much. At least it's better now. Before it was so bad I had to close my eyes. I was worried I'd get lost, but it turns out I remember these houses pretty well. Sometimes I just sit in my room and think about the last Halloweens. It's fun and there's not much else to do. The light stopped working a while back, so closing my eyes was just like being back in my memories. I checked a few times to make sure I was still in the right place. Yep, but it just itched so much. Scratching doesn't really help, but I can't help myself. It'll be dark soon anyway. There was a dog a few houses back. I don't really like dogs. It kept getting in my way. I tried throwing stones, but I couldn't really see it in my imagination, and I think I missed. Then it knocked me down into some branches. I didn't like that. But suddenly one of my eyes stopped itching. That was nice. But then it knocked me down again, and my hairpin fell out. That had happened once before, a couple of years ago. I didn't want to lose another hairpin to another stupid dog. I couldn't find it down on my hands and knees with my eyes closed, and that stupid dog all over my face. So I opened them just for a second and found it. I almost didn't see it down there with all the red leaves and grass. Everything was so dark. I thought I was wearing a white one. Then the dog knocked me down again. It sounded like it was eating something. I think it was trying to bite my face, so I stopped it. There are animals in the woods. You've got to be careful sometimes. I scratched my itchy eye with a hairpin this time. A really good, deep scratch, and I put it back in my hair for later. I could still hear the dog, but he wasn't barking or jumping on me anymore. So I figured out which way the next house was and went to get some more candy. Can't let a stupid animal ruin the best night of the year. It felt like my cheeks were wet, but then it started raining. I like the rain. I thought I heard somebody nearby, but the next house was empty. No candy anywhere, just tools and stuff. I turned on the light, but I forgot I couldn't open my eyes. Too itchy. This is going to make a good memory for all those dark nights through the winter. At least I won't forget what anything looked like. It's nice to have these memories, to distract myself at night from all the drafts and cold and other stuff. My eye was starting to itch again. I got my hairpin out. It felt so good. Just as I left for the next house, I heard someone again. Flump, flump. Somebody walking around in rubbers towards the house I just left. Goody! I bet he'd give me something. I turned around and followed him to the door. Trick or treat. I think he stubbed his toe or something. He screamed, "No! No! No! You can't be here!" Then he hesitated and in a quieter voice, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, little girl. We don't have any candy. Oh, God. His voice sounded funny. He didn't want me here. He whispered, "Go away." I didn't like that. He's supposed to give me candy. Then he grabbed my arm and started pushing me, just like the man who used to lock my room at night, and that stupid dog. I fell down and he fell on me in the doorway. He started scrambling and kicking me away. I didn't like that, so I stopped him too. I got my hairpin back and went to put it in my hair, but it was bent. I love my hairpins. I had to push him over off my leg to get up, but he didn't seem upset anymore. It would make a good story later, but I didn't get any candy. I decided to leave a note so maybe there'd be candy next year. I couldn't find a pen, so I just carved the note with my hairpin. Trick or treat. We'll know better next year. I was hungry, so I went into the woods a little bit toward the next house and found that old chair to sit on. I found some Twinkies in the trailer right before I met the dog. I never get Twinkies at the home. They're my fourth favorite. No, fifth. They're so good. There were all these sounds while I was eating the soggy Twinkies. Thunder, screaming, running, cars, wind. Help! Help! It reminded me of the movie I saw once. Police and cars and blood. That made a good nighttime story too. Then that stupid dog barked again and a woman yelled. She didn't like the dog either. But I thought she might have some candy, so I made my way back. When I got there, I flipped the light switch. I forgot about my eyes again. Hey, you can't be here, kid. She didn't want me there either. Trick or treat. Quit messing around. Oh my God. She grabbed my arm too, just like they all used to. I really, really don't like that. I checked. She didn't have any candy either. Oh well, I should probably go back to the home anyway. Tonight's memory is going to be really good. This has been the best Halloween yet, except when I went to get my hairpin back, it was stuck and the head broke off. And her snoring changed like she was waking up, so I just left it with her. I used to have so many beautiful hairpins. Maybe one more house.